2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gizzverse podcast, a podcast completely dedicated to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard universe. A universe that King Gizzard has created, but the fans, us, you, me, a little me, have sustained. Yeah. Right, guys? What's up? Happy New Year. How you doing?
Hey,
how you doing, Brian?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing good. Feeling good, you know? I did my New Year's resolution, got the whole thing ready, had a good holiday. How was your holiday break, man?
I don't know, man. It was pretty shit. You know what I mean? It was all right. Kind of festive a little bit. Saw some family. I really just worked a lot and, paid bills and gave gifts I couldn't really afford, man. Yeah, it was great, though. It was great.
Yeah, you moved into your new pad.
Yeah, I got a little new pad, a little launching pad to save up a little dough. I'm trying to get out there to you, brother. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man.
Your boy's working.
You've been
working.
You spent the holidays kind of grinding, man. It was a little rough, huh? A little rough.
Could be worse, man. I can't complain. You know, I'm breathing, I'm eating, and I'm chatting about King Gizzard. So I mean, what am I complaining about?
You ain't lying, dude. You ain't lying. I like it, man. It even snowed in Florida.
Yeah, that's what they tell me. That's what they tell me, man. It was like 32 degrees. That's cold. It's actually cold as hell right now. This is insane.
You didn't see any snow, though.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Dude, what? That was the biggest hype thing I've ever seen on the internet. And
was
like,
it really?
It's snowing all over in Florida.
It was like north. I think it was like Tallahassee or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the deets.
I wasn't there. I was in Vail, Colorado.
You know a thing or two about the snow for the holidays, am I right?
Kinda. It was according to everybody else, there wasn't a lot of snow, but I mean, I'm from Florida, so to me, there was snow. Vail, Colorado. It's interesting. If you don't know what Vail, Colorado, Brian, you've never been there, right?
No.
Dude, if for the people all the way out in Melbourne, Australia, you guys have never been there, Vail is a place in Colorado where all the evil, rich, white people of the world gather once a year and. They all go snowboarding and skiing together. It's a really lovely place.
Oh,
it's a little town. Yeah, they still do dog sledding. Which is, I thought that was so weird, like strapping leather to an animal. Still, like, what about that sounds like a good idea?
Let's go.
It's like taking it back to a time when snow wasn't a tourist attraction. It was just a slow, cold, evil death. You know?
True. Yeah.
God, dude, what a weird. Why do they strap? I don't know why humans like to ride animals so much. Like, what about an elephant? Did somebody look at and was like, you know what? I'm riding that thing. I'm riding it, and I'm gonna take it into battle. So, Vail, Colorado. It's a cool place.
Check out Vail, Colorado, man. Yeah. All right. Well, damn. I'm kind of down. I don't know. That sounds a little scary, but could be a good time.
I liked it, man. It was just it was like over. I don't know. The one thing I did like about it, the whole trip. Not the one thing. I enjoyed myself. I was hanging out with my girl's family, so it was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Yeah. Like I partied. I had a good time. But King Gizzard released their album while I was out there. So one of the best parts about driving from Los Angeles to Colorado is the drive. It is fucking beautiful. Right. I mean, I said one of the good things about driving is the drive. That's the most retarded
that's
thing
how
I've
you know
ever
it's
said
a good
in my
drive,
life.
man. That's how you know it's a badass drive.
It's the views when you're driving through everything. You can it's amazing. Like through Arizona, even Nevada, it's a little barren there, but Utah, like no one ever told me how beautiful Utah was. So during the drive, I got to jam to the new King Gizzard album, Gumboot Soup, over and over and over again on the way back. So
how many hours is that ride?
Yeah, it was 13 hours. So I got to listen to it like 13 to 14 times, just over and over and over again. She loved it.
Oh, I'm sure every minute.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. All right.
Oh man.
So I'm sure they gave you a pretty good. I did get a pretty good picture of the album. Then I'm assuming, man.
I did, man. I definitely prefer the muddy water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet, man. I bet.
I prefer the muddy water. I was jamming to that album, dude. I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. There was no other way to say it. It's a little. I know a lot of people had some complaints to it. I mean, right off the bat, I think some people were even saying that this album should be the free album that they released instead of the Polygon Wannaland, but I don't know if I agree with that. Giving away the Polygon album, it was a masterpiece. So they gave us a masterpiece for free. But I don't know. I loved it, Brian. What did you think?
I'm giving it high reviews, man. I've been obsessively listening to it, not necessarily in only a car, but all over the place, man. I can't get enough of it. I'm slowly driving my coworkers crazy, but I think good crazy. I don't think they mind too much, maybe.
It's a totally different album, man. Like all the songs stand alone, and every other album that released this year, it's very not just themed, but they all kind of go into each other. It's a story being told. They're not all just coming from the same place, but they're going to a direction even. So this one didn't have that feeling.
Yeah, it has like a feeling of like, I mean, you can still sense the other directions, the directions that were in mind while making these songs. People throwing around the term B-side, and I hate that term casual. Oh, these are just a bunch of B-sides from the last album, and it's like, nah, I'm not really claiming that. Well,
it's interesting. It's interesting that you said that because Stu says that in an interview that these aren't technically B-side album. So I mean, him even throwing out that phrase was just baiting those people to even say that kind of stuff.
True.
But I mean, to even directly quote him, he did kind of reference that these songs were the leftovers, the scraps kind of the rest of the albums from this year. So I mean, I didn't go into this album trying to do that, but that quote was in the back of my head for some of these songs. I mean, you can kind of clearly hear what album they would fit nicely into. Whether or not they should be, I'm not going to question that because their albums are works of art, and they stand every artist every band when they put out an album, that's the album that they want and complete, to be looked at all by itself. So I'm trying to respect that, I think, as best that I can, but even still, you can hear where they might plug into another album.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely. Some obviously more than others, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I kind of think where do you put this at? Where do you rate this with the other albums of this year?
Oh, where do I rate this with the other albums of the year? Heavy duty, man. I almost wanted, because we haven't discussed this, man. I didn't want to, spill the beans so early in the show, but it is my favorite album of the year, man.
No way.
Boom.
Wow, dude, you just dropped the missile right at the beginning of the podcast a missile.
You dared me to push the button, dude, and I pushed it.
Dang. Brian Centron.
You're not calling me out, dude.
Wow, dude. Dropping it on the Gizzverse podcast, brought to you by Brian Centron and Tommy O'Neill. This is first heard Brian Centron. Wow, dude, you just blew my mind apart.
Heavy duty, right? I don't think you saw that coming, but yeah.
I didn't see it coming, but you have said it about every single album that has come out every single time this year. So I gotta be honest with you. I agree with your opinion, but you do tend to get excited when it comes out. So I'm not trying to hate on you at all, but you loved them all, Brian. You loved them all.
I do love them all, Devin. I'm keeping that in mind. Trust me, I'm keeping that in mind. It's still very fresh. I get that. But as of today, as of now, I think it's my favorite, man. Damn, I know it's heavy. It's heavy to say it, but when we were looking around, I'm looking through all the tracks. I'm like, man, which one's my favorite? And I'm like, I can't even ballpark it. There's like 6. Then I'm like, oh, this one. Wait. Oh, wait, but
the muddy water.
That comes, dude. Yeah, I don't know, man. I got a few,
dude.
But
it
maybe
is the
you're
best.
Right. Maybe I'm jumping the gun, but dude, I'm gonna jump right up. I'm gonna leap that gun, dude. I don't give a damn. I'll hop over that
Leap
shit.
it, bro. Leap it, dude. Don't be afraid of your own opinions, dude. I'm just being funny, because we gotta keep it light. You know what I mean?
Gots to.
I did like the use of the flute. I love the flute, and I think it made an appearance on almost every single song on the album, dude.
Yeah, right. No, flute was popping. Flute was popping.
Flute was a poppin', which gave everybody a chance to sing on this album because Stu was too busy blowing on his flute, and everybody else was singing on it. You get appearances by Ambrose, you get appearances by Joey, you get appearances by Cookie Meister himself, and of course Stu makes several appearances himself.
How fun is that?
I
though?
love
like,
hearing that. I
everybody's
love the
on there, dude.
diversity of the singers.
I love that.
What's up?
Yes, I love that. I mean, the first run through I've had of the album, I was like, wow. So one word, Ambrose. You know what I mean? Like, homie is in these songs, like killing it. Yeah, boy. Sounding jazzy as can be and bluesy and just boom, right on point. Right on point.
Dude, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. Those are some of my favorite songs. Are the ones that he sings. I don't know if he's written them all the way because they haven't released that information. And if they have, please let me know and tag me in it or something like that because I was looking for it a whole bunch in research to this episode. So I didn't find all of them. I had speculation so I can give you what other people maybe thought, but I can't tell you exactly what's going on. So
yeah, facts.
My theory is that they co-wrote it at least, but maybe wrote the whole thing. I don't really know. Maybe it was just like, oh, well, your voice sounds better with the song. But I loved the songs that Ambrose was singing on, bro.
Yeah.
Loved them. Loved them.
Loved him. Heavy duty. Yeah.
Heavy duty. I know you love the songs that Cookie Meister was featured on.
Duh, always. Yeah.
And there's songs that clearly were written by Cookie. Because, I mean, what, dude? What, dude?
Just that fun little jovial, happy sound. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Little like funky walking and talking, grooving in the down the sink even. Oh man,
so fun.
That one, yeah, very. It was touched by Cookie in some kind of way, and even the barefoot desert was definitely. They had it sounded like Cookie wrote it. And then Ambrose did the lyrics and sang on it.
It sounds like that. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
But yeah, we're already kind of breaking them down.
Yeah, we're breaking out songs willy-nilly. We got to have some structure in this thing, man. It's not like a bunch of maniacs.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, man. Yeah, I know. I was jumping around. I was just kind of, you said you loved it, and I was agreeing with you. So let's keep this momentum going for this episode. Look, dude, can we like structure this? Speaking of structure, I feel like we jumped in. We started talking about the holidays, guys. This episode is all about the new album that has dropped, Gumboot Soup. Obviously, the last episode, we did say that we were going to be doing, I think, Murder of the Universe, right? That was the other episode that we were. So we did have notes, and we were going to do that episode, but this one dropped, so we had to stop everything we were doing. We're like, wait, 1 second. We got to do this. So we ran back. We threw away all of our notes. JK. I need to hold on to those notes. So we spent all of our time doing it, and me and Brian were like, look, man, yes, we could put out an episode tomorrow, the second day, the next day that you get back to LA. We could do an episode and talk about it. Or we could take some time, digest the album so we can kind of get a better perspective of it. And we went that route, and that's why we released this episode.
But we're excited. Like, can you hear how excited we are? Like, we couldn't wait to do this. Like, this had to happen now.
Very stoked.
This had to happen now.
And I agree. I think it does have to happen now. I think we got to keep up pace with King Gizzard, and just kind of keep you guys updated and all that stuff. Speaking of which, thank you guys for all you folks that reached out to us. Please continue to do so on the page. Continue to like our fan page on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram as well. All that fun stuff. Thank you guys for doing that. Now let's get to the album breakdown in and of itself. The rodeo show. Whatever that means.
The rodeo show. Bang bang bang
Yeah,
bang
buddy.
bang 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 bang. That's the rodeo
we
show.
are let's go over Gumboot Soup. Let's do this, bro. I prefer the muddy water. I prefer the muddy water. All right, bro.
All right, cool.
There's not a lot of structure to this album. I don't think so. I don't think there's any deliberate, like, all right, this should go here. And there probably was, done, but there wasn't a lot of wiggle room. It was like, all right, dude, well, this sound is just different from the other song, and it's just got to go here. So
yeah, it seems like it's almost like strategically not in order, though. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be like super chill song heavy, or like then super chill again. I don't know. It does seem kind of, I don't know. I mean, these guys are a bunch of madmen, so I wouldn't. There's always a method to the madness.
I agree. I do like the first song though. Nonetheless, I do like the choice to lead the album off with "Beginner's Luck," a nice Ambrose sang song. Well, kind of Ambrose sang song.
Yeah, it's some Stewie Boy, a lot of Stewie Boy in there.
Yeah, but my favorite parts are Ambrose singing, so it just kind of overwhelms my thought process with it. So I don't know. I like it. Kind of has a Polygon feel to it to me. I do like the the reason it doesn't go into Polygon is because it's talking about a casino. I more along means like the sound of it. It sounds like Polygon, but there's no way it fits in with the album.
That would be pretty weird.
It's completely. It talks about you like basically cheating at a casino, and having seemingly beginner's luck, and then being caught by the eye in the sky, and then security approaching you, and all you have is the felt table in front of you. I liked it. I liked how the lyrics kind of painted this awesome, cool visual. I've been in casinos quite a bit, not just performing comedy, but even seeing like bands and stuff. So I think we've all been in casinos a fair amount, and it's a weird scene, man. It's a weird scene.
And
you know?
I've generally felt the exact same way, like the way they describe it. Like I'm a cheap ass dude. I don't gamble. I'm not gambling my good hard-earned money. You know what I'm saying? But I've had that thought of like, I mean, I think if I gamble a little bit, it is cheaper than going to the bar. You know what I mean? Like I've had that exact thought. So yeah, it definitely kind of nailed that.
Yeah. I don't gamble that much. When I do see a roulette table, I'll throw down 5 on black because you always got to bet on black. And I would say like 9 times out of 10 I've won. But every time I win, I walk away. I don't do more than one bet because I agree with you. I'm kind of a cheap ass, and I don't like gambling either. It's weird. It's a weird experience. It kind of feels like it's an easy thing to get wild away from.
Oh, yeah.
But I like the sound of the song. Regardless, I like the wild western feel to it. Feels like you're walking in from the streets with your pistol on, sitting down playing some poker, with some other badass western dudes.
What a life.
And it's it has that feel to it.
You and the boys.
I liked it. Yeah, for sure. The next song, Greenhouse Heat Death. What would you think about that?
It's cool. It's one of those that definitely grew on me. Like when they released it, when they released it as like a single, I didn't want to hear the singles very much. I don't like to burn out on the singles and then be like, oh yeah, this one on when the actual album comes out. But I didn't love it the first couple times I heard it. Now I definitely dig it. It's like fresh off a microtonal banana for sure. It's
totally
good. I like it.
You can definitely hear the microtonal stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. What did you think about that, man? You got down?
I liked it. I definitely I liked all the songs on the album. There wasn't any song on here that I didn't like. I definitely enjoyed I like all their look, I'm not like an environmental activist. I'm not gonna go that far by any. But I love nature. I love being out in. I think I'm not gonna use this is a pretty general statement. I was gonna say anybody that appreciates King Gizzard maybe enjoys the outside, but that's a broad statement. But I think you guys maybe can agree with it. It's awesome to go check in with nature, go into a park and just kind of disappear, go hiking. Look at a mountainside, look at a tree, look at a river. Just feel one with the stuff around us. I think that's really important, and I love that message that King Gizzard revisits quite a bit in multiple ways, kind of steering us into a direction of appreciating nature, but also like fearing abusing nature. We only have one Earth, essentially, even though I feel like the Earth is something that will swallow us up way before it'll be destroyed by us. Way before that.
True.
Anyways, that was a weird step note. That goes into another King Gizzard song that we'll review way later on. But yeah, I liked it. I liked the themes in it. I don't. This next one, I think it kind of is clearly written by Ambrose, but I don't have any evidence supporting that other than my theories. But Barefoot Desert, it sounds like a Murlocs jam that was written by Cookie, and then Ambrose came in and wrote the lyrics for it. And I love the flute in it. Stu was like, "Hey, can I play something, guys? Hey guys, can I play something?" They're like, "Yeah, dude, of course, bro. Pick up that flute, bro." And he started jamming on it, and he was ripping it. Yeah, dude. I love the lyrics to it, just because I've had that feeling, and I still have that feeling all the time in life, just about being unprepared and not ready for things in life, and the neglected aspect to the lyrics was interesting, but maybe just neglected from society, he feels, which I don't know. That was interesting. And walking around, seeing other people with shoes on, and then rethinking, maybe I should have put shoes on, kind of saying, well, maybe I should have followed another person's path, or like listened to this guy's advice, or changed the whole way that I'm doing stuff. And I think it's important to question that in life. And it's interesting to see that element come out in the writing. And I think Ambrose addresses that quite a bit, even in the Murlocs. We'll go over that obviously when we do an episode dedicated to the Murlocs, because them my boys.
The boys.
But I definitely have that feeling in life,
I feel, I think we all have. It's interesting hearing it from like a successful musician from a successful band. 'Cause you think like, dude, that's the journey. I mean, on paper that looks amazing. You know what I mean? Just touring the world and dropping back-to-back albums and stuff. But even though like self-reflection, it's cool to hear from the guys. I like their songs that are a little more personal sometimes, as opposed to talking about, bell rogs and things of that sort, you know what I mean? Which is dope. Like I
and
love
Lords
that shit.
of Lightning.
Yeah, so it's cool to get a little personal from time to time, even though I don't get no more
doubt.
personal than your bond with the Lord of Lightning, man. Like, yeah,
hey,
that's
no
really
doubt.
big gifts, dude.
Hey, but like I man, you just tapped onto something really interesting, because I think this album in and of itself is a very personal, much more personal album than the other ones released this year. What do you think about that?
Like that. It does seem like that. Like I'm running through like the track list, and there's a lot of stuff that a lot of it has kind of like double meaning things, like this on the surface, but kind of alluding to this. But yeah, it does have a more personal vibe. I think that's one of the reasons I connect to it a good amount, for sure.
Now, do you think that's because the other gents, blokes, if you will, in the band are writing some of the songs, maybe?
See, now that doesn't hurt. I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is going to be one of my... I'm going to throw that in now, too. It's going to be one of my hot takes of why I really enjoy this album, because it gives me another sense of hope, like continued hope with this band that I always have, but... I mean, more in like, you see some of these songs seem like they could fit on a few different albums. They seem, like you said, they're written by different people, as opposed to just Stu necessarily, or like other people singing. Yeah, all that good stuff. I worry sometimes that with 7 personalities in a band, if everything is always themed, like a Murder of the Universe, or something of that sort, a Flying Microtonal Banana, like, will somebody at some point burn out on that and be like, yo, I just want some standalone tracks. I just want to jam. I just want to jam to a certain vibe, and just like let that song be a single song. Like, will that burn somebody out? Is that too much Stu and his love for science fiction coming through? And I don't want to say forcing onto the band, but like, I don't know. Are those the kind of jams everybody's trying to make all the time? It just seems, I mean, we've been in a band, dude. It was literally, we couldn't do it. We couldn't keep everybody together. So it's like, and we had, was it 5 of us?
5, yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking about 7. Now, granted, I mean, if these guys are intelligent, they know they're successful, they're doing their thing. But some of the other, like, this album gives me hope that, cool, they can still keep it groovy, keep it light if needed, or heavy. They can do whatever they want, and hopefully that's tickling everybody's fancy.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Dropping bombs, trees.
You
dropping
feel me, man?
bombs, bro. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Getting Ric Flair in this motherfucker.
You got Ric Flair, man. That was all right. Yeah, dude. Tight, man.
Yeah, dude. I totally agree with what you're saying. I don't know if it's my favorite album this year. Still, I will let you know by the end of this episode. I will let you know. I'm gonna wait, because you let them know right away. I'm gonna let them know after the fact. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep them waiting. Wait until the end, baby.
All right, cool.
Yeah, right. Like, they're waiting for that shit. Like, bitch, I'll flash forward right now, motherfucker. Wait.
What does Tommy think? Is it his favorite or not, man?
You little bitch. Like, I'll find out right now, you little cocksucker. Yeah, it's hilarious. But dude, yeah, well said, man. I don't know if you prepared that or wrote that down, but goddamn, it was beautiful.
Okay.
It was beautiful.
Cool. I hope you dug that. I think there's somebody else listening who feels the same way. Maybe not, but whatever, man. Whatever. That's all good.
No, dude, that was deep, bro. I agree with you. I think it's going to keep the band fresh, and that's the best way to keep the band going is to utilize the missiles that they got in it.
So many missiles, man.
And
yeah, they're like
it might not.
It's like an all-star team over there, man. They got to use them.
Right. And speaking of missiles, I prefer the muddy water.
Remember that one, guys? Have you heard that one yet?
I prefer the muddy water. This song, Muddy Water, Joey and Stu wrote together, it seems. And man, believe it or not, another song about water on an album. Wow, big shocker
bizarre,
when it comes to
right?
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Somebody likes water. Somebody likes hanging out and swimming and surfing. Somebody likes water in that band. I don't know who it is, but somebody likes it. Woo!
Yeah, man.
What'd you think, Brian? I love this song.
Dude, Muddy Waters. This is the first to me. The first three are great. This is where shit kicks off for me, man. This is the real
boy.
Boom. It's popping for Muddy. Amber's yelling like over Stu in the background. It's like that sounds so cool. It gets me hyped. Like I'm doing it. I'm yelling it. Yeah, this is insane, man. It's great. Super dope.
All right, well, I'm gonna say this is my favorite track on the album, bro. There is,
cool. All right.
I think you could make other arguments, but this is my favorite track for. Yeah, no, it's my favorite. It's my favorite song. It is my favorite song.
Period.
I lie upon the driftwood. I prefer the muddy waters. I like the themes in it, man. I like it saying like, dude, I'm around all these. To me, this is what it says. I'm around all these yuppies, these people that care about stuff that I don't care about, man. I prefer the muddy water. I prefer the things that I like, and I'm gonna do it anyways,
Grimy.
dude. I'm not gonna sit
Get
here
down.
on a beach blindly underneath the sun, relaxing my muscles when I can be underneath some driftwood on an oak tree. I prefer the muddy waters.
Getting backwards.
Come on, bro. I love it, dude. I love it, man. It's such like it taps on some nature stuff again. Believe it or not, some water. Ooh, give me it, baby. Give me it. It sounds so cool, man. So cool. I love it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah,
loved it.
I feel your passion. We've heard it a time or two on the episode so far. I don't know if it's my favorite song, but I will say I think it'd be the coolest one to see live.
Ooh, yeah. No, that's a very good point. There's a couple songs I'd like to see live, but this one I'm looking forward to in soon enough, my friend.
I mean, we hope.
I think in May we're gonna be doing it. No, it's happening. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about the pond misadventure. Do you want to talk about that later?
Boy.
Yeah,
Man.
let's say that. You want to say that for the end? Or you want to bring it up now? Because we're in knee deep of the.
Yeah,
let's
we're so
do
deep.
the knee deep. All right, let's finish this. Sorry,
We'll get
guys.
back. We'll
We're
get
just
back. We'll get back.
we're like children. So let's finish the album breakdown. We'll definitely keep that in mind, Brian. Anyways, the next song, Superposition. What do you think about this song? I thought it was kind of crazy. I had to look up the meaning of it. What did you think?
Oh man. So okay. Upon listening, yeah, man, I'm just dropping bombs left and right, man. Upon listening to the album like furiously last night, I mean, I got off work. I just stayed up for too many hours listening to
like
it.
Snorting coke, just like staying up, just
God. Jamming. Man, it is very high up there on one of my favorites on the track. On the album,
Whoa.
dude. It's super heavy. Like, it has this kind of alien vibes. Like the vocals sound kind of alien, but like happy, like Disney aliens, if those are things. Like I said, this is why you have to listen to a song so many times before you can even like dare review it. Because this one,
yeah,
I kind of like, I don't say ran past it, but I didn't think twice about it for a little bit, and now I'm like, wow, it's like eerily comforting in the most like terrifying way. It's like, I don't know, I like this track a whole lot, man. It's really cool. I feel it makes me, it strikes up weird emotions in me. It's odd.
Okay. I'm gonna read to you the definition of superposition. Did you look it up yourself?
Yeah. I've heard of this phrase before, but I absolutely looked it up. Yeah, for sure.
I had not, and I looked it up. For those of you that have not looked it up, in physics and systems theory, the superposition principle, also known as superposition property, states that for all linear systems, the net response caused by two or more stimuli is the sum of the responses that would have been caused by each stimulus individually. All right, I didn't know what the fuck any of that meant. I got to be honest with you. Maybe some of you guys do. I've seen a lot of really smart people at King Gizzard shows. A lot of people seem to think that this song is about quantum mechanics. It describes how, I guess, this dude, Laughing McPherson on Genius.com said that the song, he said it describes how quantum particles exist in a wave form and seem to exist at multiple points in the same time until the wave function is collapsed through observation.
Homie was going in.
Okay. Like heavy duty type stuff. I mean, you look at even some of the lyrics, journey towards true destination, be inside your real direction, all of us had to die, heaven from the sand. I mean, dude, okay,
So-
he's talking about some quantum shit, dude.
So, okay,
He's getting deep, heavy, bro.
It is deep. If we want to tone it down on the deepness, just from like a fan and like how I've ran through those lyrics quite a few times myself, man. It's like, so the superposition is like the combination of two or more physical states. So it's like you can look at some of those lyrics and see them as almost like romantic. You know what I mean? It's like a love tune. If you know what I mean? If you read them in that kind of aspect, so it's like I said, it's incredibly comforting and like it's like a spooky tune at the same time, man. It's really it's weird. It strikes something in me. I like this track quite a bit, actually.
Well, you just kind of blew my mind there. A couple. I want to go a couple different ways because one, you actually defined what that was, and now I finally get it because I've spent hours trying to figure it out. So I really appreciate it.
Got you, baby.
Because I'm retarded. I'm a hashtag. Me too. I'm retarded. I also want to say that's really interesting because. All of our lives, since I've known you, you've been this perfect definition of a Gemini, and you've kind of ran through that theme. I don't know if it was consciously, subconsciously, or whatever, but you've always noticed a correlation in the Gemini thing and your personality, which is having that double side of the coin vision on things. You know, you see both frames of it. You know, you oftentimes can look on the other side of things and have maybe something within you that feels like, oh, well, it's split in half almost.
Yeah,
you know, so that's
true.
a really interesting thing that you love this song so much. It has that definition to it on an intellectual level, and it fits with your personality. Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I can roll with that. I can roll with that.
Yeah. So this next song, Cookified, I think it's straight out
Baked.
of Cookie Craig,
Fresh out the oven.
I think he molded it and put it in the oven and made a delicious snack for us all. It just basically, I mean, from the lyrics, it's pretty straightforward. It's definitely no superposition. It's describing life in the city, pretty much. All the way. I feel like I'm walking in downtown Los Angeles. From all the lyrics, it's a pretty straightforward, little description of things. Or Melbourne. Depending on where.
Yeah, so it does. Yeah, it is a little more straightforward. I like Cookie's vocals on it. It doesn't sound so like distorted. Like, it doesn't have a lot of effect on it. I'm not saying it doesn't have any, but it doesn't have as much effect as you'll normally hear on, like, let's say Pi or like any songs with him, any King Gizzard songs with him. I like that. I like that sound. I hope they kind of let that ride. Jamming. This one's cool, man. It sounds nice and dirty.
I liked it.
It gets like a little darker, I mean, it seems like something like during like the day, like the streets are all good, and then at night it's like like you losing your dreams and stuff like that. So it's almost like he's correlating like the streets or like people's personas and like like
under the city.
Yeah, like under the city or under the mass, so to speak. you'll see something else. It's like that's when like I don't know, like you give a perception of people of what you want them to see, but then maybe underneath you're kind of like, I don't know, going through your battles and stuff. And that's kind of what it seems like in this song. That's kind of what he's alluding to, it seems.
Interesting. I didn't pick up on that, but I agree with your assessment. Under the City, People's Dreams Collecting definitely stabs on that.
Yeah.
Look down the plug hole in the kitchen basin. I do like the on the beat cops patrol the alley verse. I get down on that one.
Yeah, that's one.
I just like the repetitiveness of the chorus down the sink, and even the street is where people live.
Oh yeah.
I like that. I like the street is where people die on the fourth line of the chorus. It's pretty neat. Yeah, no, I dug it. Pretty straightforward. Again, a little personal insight. You can see Cookie's maybe thought on living in the city, all pudged up together, scrunched up, living on top of one another, and the weird pressure of society looking through these television windows that give us a false glimpse into society, and being around one another, squished up while your dreams are being pushed down into the ground. Thanks a lot, Cookie.
Dude.
That's a little sad.
Wow, dude.
Thanks a lot, Cookie.
Cookie, man, you did it again. Yeah.
Oh, my God, he's been to Los Angeles.
Too real, man.
Too real, bro. Too real. The homeless situation is insane out here. Oh, bro, I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, that's more of a Growler song.
Yeah, right.
Downtown is a ghetto. It's a good song, dude. It's good. If you guys haven't heard the Growlers before, go check them out. The Growlers are sick, bro. They're sick man. With it, dog. I've seen them live. Dope, bro. Can't see them in LA unless you're a millionaire for whatever reason. But yeah, dude, they're around. Anyways, the next song on the album is A Divide Amongst Us.
Ooh-wee.
This is a great divide. We almost didn't do this podcast because of this song. This podcast almost was canceled because we disagree on this song so much. Oh man. The next song on the album
Jump in, guys.
is of course The Great Chain of Being. The heaviest song King Gizzard has ever made. Ever. The devil came up and possessed them and transported their bodies into Slayer's bodies and Slayer's bodies into King Gizzard's, and they just swim dum 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 dum. It was a crazy song, man. It was a crazy song. Yeah. I liked it, dude. I loved it, bro. It was to me it shows how like diverse the band is. They're like, oh man, we could do that. Yep. It easily could fit on Murder of the Universe. It sounds like Belrog's like final death scene where he's just coming down and blowing up churches. He said, what is the last lyric? I'll burn something. Okay, this is it. What is? Yeah, no. It says the meteors pass by. I burn that goddamn church to the ground. At the end, he says, "Rip that salty lamb to slaughter." It's straight evil shit, dude. Straight evil shit. I fucking loved it, dude.
Yeah, they came through strong for sure.
I gotta be honest, it's a song that even my brother would love. My brother Mike, who I told you guys at the first episode that I tried to show him Robot Stop and Rattlesnake, and he's like, dude, they're so repetitive, bro. Bro, they're so repetitive. Like, they're so derived. Man, they're repetitive, bro. If I showed him this song, he'd be like, all right, bro, now we're talking, dog. Now we're talking.
Alley, man.
Which, I got to be honest, this album, out of all the albums, is an album that I could show to somebody. Did we say that already at the podcast, or did we talk about that ahead of time?
No, I think we talked about that.
Did we talk about that on already? Recorded?
No.
Oh, okay. This album is. If I was going to show this to anybody, I would say this is one of the albums that I could show to everybody because it's a diverse look at it, and you could just like, hey man, what's your style? Okay, cool, and just go to that song.
You have to find
like,
something.
hey,
you got to find something on this album.
This is King Gizzard.
Yeah, this is cool. Yeah.
everybody could listen to a song on this album and enjoy it. I think of all levels of, music listeners. So I do think that this album is so unique in that way with King Gizzard, because there's so many albums where like you can't kind of do that much, all of it. You kind of have to enjoy that genre of music to appreciate what they're doing on top of the themes and all that stuff. So, but dude, this song. Even the repetitive chorus, the great chain of being, I love it. It's kind of scary. It's evil sounding. Clearly about religion tapping on, and I don't know why I love those songs so much, but I do. Every album I'm drawn to those songs. So the book, those kinds of songs, like I love those types of songs where it nails that thing where it's like